ടു മൈ ചാനൽ. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ പഠിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത് 8th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് CBSE ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് മെയിൻ ടെക്സ്റ്റിലെ ഫോർത്ത് ചാപ്റ്റർ സപ്ലിമെൻ്ററി ടെക്സ്റ്റിലെ ഫോർത്ത് ചാപ്റ്ററായ ദ ട്രഷർ വിത്തിൻ ഫോർത്ത് ചാപ്റ്ററാണ്. സോ ഇന്ന് നമുക്ക് ചാപ്റ്റർ ഒന്ന് ഫസ്റ്റ് വായിച്ച് നോക്കാം. Before you read, every child is a potential achiever and is different from other children in her or his style of learning and area of interest. Read the interview that follows. It is based on a conversation between Miss Bella Raj, editor of Push, a newsletter from the Resource Center, the Valley School, Bangalore, and Mr. Hafiz, contractor, one of India's leading architecture. First part. Hafiz contractor was an unhappy schoolboy. He loved doing things but detested mechanical learning. Mathematics gave him the shivers. What his principal once said to him influenced him deeply. HC means Hafiz contractor, BR means Bella Raj. Hafiz contractor is saying now. ഇപ്പോൾ ഹഫീസാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ പറഞ്ഞുകൊടുക്കുന്നത്. I used to have this terrible nightmare. Only now over the last 4 to 5 years it seems to have disappeared. What nightmare are you talking about and why do you think it has disappeared now? I used to get continuous nightmares about appearing for a maths examination where I do not know anything. Now the mind or mentioned must have gotten over it. I do not have to think about education and there is absolutely no time to get my nightmares. Tell us something about your earliest memories at a school. In a school. In the first and second year, I was good student. After I reached the third standard, I simply lost interest and I never studied. I used to be interested in games, running around playing jokes and pranks on others. I would copy in class during exam times. I would try to get hold of the examination paper that had been prepared and study it, as I could not remember things that had been taught to me in class. However, later one sentence spoken to me by my principal changed my life. When I approached my 11th standard, the principal called me and said, "Look here, son, I have been seeing you from day one. You are a good student, but you never studied. I have taken care of you till today. Now I can no longer take care of you, so you do it yourself." He talked to me for 5 minutes. He do not have your mother has worked so hard to bring you up and paid all your fees all these years, but you have only played games. Now you should rise to the occasion and study. I used to be a very good sportsman. I had been the senior champion for so many years and I also was the cricket captain. I used to play every game, but that year I did not step out onto the field. I would go for prayers and all I would do was eat and study. I normally used to copy and pass, but I realized that once I was in SSC, I could not do that. When I got a second class 50% in my SSC, my principal said, "Son, consider yourself as having got a distinction. This is my memory of my school days. I did lots of other things. See, as far as my things are concerned, I can't remember. I forget things very easily. To remember, I had to see things as a photograph. I read a book and I can remember that matter as a photograph, but not through my mind. That is how it works. When you were in school and you were doing badly, did the teachers pull you up and how did you feel? I never felt anything on bringing or being pulled up. I used to be so interested in playing. I would receive a caning every week. When you know that you had incurred the wrath of your teacher by not doing your homework or by having badly when you knew you would be you get a caning. What was the state of your mind? State of mind? Just lift up the hand and they would cane you. It would hurt badly and then I would have to forget about it because I would want to go and play. You never felt insecure or threatened. I was just interested in playing and nothing else. I was most interested in funny pranks. One day I did not want to study, so I created a distraction for one whole hour. We played Kocha Police. Every Saturday we were allowed to go into town to see a movie. So what I would do was have no lunch and collect money from 40 to 50 students and run and buy the tickets on my way back. I would eat to my heart's content. I used to be the leader of a gang. We would have gang fights and planned tragedy. These things used to interest me more than any academics. Students used to book my textbooks for the following year because they were almost brand new. I probably opened them one day before exam. So കോമേഷൻ തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട് അതിന് ആൻസർ നമുക്ക് ഈ ചാപ്റ്ററിൻ്റെ അവസാനം നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതായിരിക്കും. Second part. He stumbled on architecture because he knew little French and less German. He was offbeat even in the pranks that he played on others. When he found his calling, there was no looking back. How did you get into the field of architecture? In the college for architecture, nobody who had got below 80 to 85% was allowed to enter. I had only 50%. I wanted to join the army. I got my admission letter, but my aunt tore it up. Then I decided that I wanted to join the police force. My mother said, "Don't join the police force, just you do your graduation." So I went to Jai College in Mumbai. There I was to either take French or German. Though I had studied French for 7 years, I did not know 7 words of French. So I took German. My German teacher died. The college told me that I could change the college, or take French. Now, who would give me admission in another college? I had got admission to Jai Hind by influence. So I thought, okay, I will take French. And I started learning French again. I learned it from my cousin. She was an architect's wife. I was going to an architect's office to learn French. So was it then that you decided you wanted to do architecture? Actually, it had happened quite by chance. In the architect's office, I saw somebody drawing a window detail. A window detail is a very advanced drawing. I told him that his drawing was wrong, that the window he had drawn would not open. He then had a bet with me, and later he found that indeed his drawing was wrong. My cousin's husband was surprised. He asked me to draw a few specific things, which I immediately did. He asked me to design a house, and I designed a house. After that, he told me to drop everything and join architecture. We went to meet the principal of the college. The principal warned me, I will allow you to take part in the entrance exam. But if you do not do well, I will not allow you to join. So I got an A plus in the entrance exam, and from that day it was a cakewalk. I had never made a plan, but I know how something looked like from the top. I had never known what a section was, but I know if you cut a plan what it would look like. I stood first class throughout after that. I believe that all this understanding came from what I used to play and do during school. I had a friend called Bahram Divecha. We used to have competitions between us for designing forts, guns, and ammunition. Each of us would design something in an effort to be different. In a school, when I was in the second or third standard, one of my teacher, Miss Gupta, saw my sketches and told me, "See, you are useless in everything else, but your sketches are good. When you grow up, you become an architect." I did not know. I did not know at that time, but she was right. Later, after I became became an architect, I went back to meet her and tell her, Why do you think you did not like studies? Was it because you felt you could not cope? You could not cope? Could not deal with the curriculum? I was very bad at languages, science, and geography. I could deal with maths very bad. I just was not interested. I was studying for the sake of studying. What they taught me today, I would forget after 2 days. I would not bother because there was an application of mind to begin with. Did you think that what they taught in school was boring, or did you feel that once you understood the concept of what was being taught, you lost interest in the rest of the lesson? Living in a boarding school is difficult. We were just living from day to day. Nowadays, there are so many tests. Back then, whenever we had tests, we used to just copy. The teacher thought that we had done our work. There is a contention that giftedness and learning disabilities go hand in hand. Do you think this applies to you? Well, take some students for my class. Those who always stood first or second are today going very ordinary job. I have come across this situation in so many different places where people tell me that their class toppers are doing very ordinary today. In school, I think, I think living our lives there made us treat smart. I had learned more by doing what I did on my own than what academics would have taught me. That is because the personality and skills were there. You were able to find expression in a manner you were comfortable with, and you defied every rule so that nobody would stop you from doing what you needed to do. I was more interested in other things. If, for example, while in class, I started raining outside, I would think of the flowing water and how to build a to block it. I would be thinking about the flow of water within the dam and how much of water the dam would be able to hold. That that was my interest for the day. When students lost a button while playing or fighting, they would come running to me and I would cut a button for them from chalk using a blade. This discipline in the school was missing. Discipline in the school was missing. The student would get past dinner with a full neat uniform and after that it did not matter. Coming to the present, how you decide as to what kind of structure you want to give a slide. I look at the client's face, his clothes, the way he talks and pronounces, the way he eats, and I would know what his taste would be like. I can relate to people in a way that would be comfortable. I sketch very spo- spontaneously on a paper on the spot. That paper I give to my people in the office. You do it instinctively. Call it instinct. Call it arithmetic. Whatever. Now it comes to me like mathematics, putting design, construction, psychology, and sociology together and making a sketch from all that is mathematics. Here we almost come to a full circle where Mr. Contractor had derived his own interpretation of mathematics, taking it from a subject he hated to a subject he now loves dealing with. So, നമുക്കിന്ന് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസേഴ്സിലേക്ക് പോകാം. So, comprehension check ഒന്നതാണ്. What did Hafiz contractor have nightmares about? Hafiz contractor got nightmares about appearing for a mathematics examination in which he did not know anything. ഇതാണ് നമുക്ക് ഫസ്റ്റ് കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻ ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസർ ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഇനി നമുക്ക് സെക്കൻഡ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. What did the principal say to him, which influenced him deeply? When Hafiz was in the 11th standard, his principal said to him that he had been seeing him since day one. He was a good he was a good student. However, he had never studied. The principal told him that so far he had taken care of him, but from then on he was by himself. He mentioned how Hafiz's mother had worked extremely hard to bring him up and had paid all his fees for all those years. However, he had only played games. He thus told Hafiz to rise to the occasion and study. These words influence Hafiz in a deep manner. So, third question. That year I did not step out into the field. What was he busy doing that year? He was busy studying that year. He went for prayers and just ate and studied. What distraction did Hafiz contractor create one day? Would you have liked to participate in the distraction had you been with him? Hafiz mentioned how one day he did not want to study. Thus, he decided to create a distraction and for 1 hour he played chop police with his classmates. Is it likely that someone who is original and intelligent does not do very well at school? Should such a learner be called a failure? If not, why not? It is likely that someone who is original and intelligent does not do very well at school. Such a learner should not be called a failure, as everyone has his or her own strength and weakness. Those who are academically brilliant do well in other fields. Hafiz Contractor was not a very good student. However, he had the talent for construction and he is now one of the leading architects. Each individual has his or her own individual talents, which may or may not be visible in the academic report. That is why students should be encouraged to showcase their talent and work on them. They should not be called a failure. Sixth question. Hafiz contractor wanted to join the police force. Why did not he? Hafiz contractor did not join the police force because his mother told him not to. His mother told him to do his graduation. Seventh question, you should write your own. Who in your view is an unusual learner? That you write your own. This question. Seventh question. So eighth question is this. In the architect's office, Hafiz contractor was advised to drop everything and join architecture. Why? When Hafiz contractor was in the architect's office, he saw somebody drawing a window detail. He told him that his drawing was wrong and that the window he had drawn would not open. Later it was found that the drawing was indeed wrong. Seeing this, his cousin's husband asked him to draw a few specific things which he immediately did. He then asked him to design a house and he completed this task as well. His potential for architecture was clearly visible from these incidents. Thus, he was told to drop everything and join architecture. And the question you should also write your own. What can school do to draw out of the best in unusual learners? Suggest whatever seems reasonably to you. This is the 10th question first. What was the Mr. Gupta's advice to Hafiz contractor? What made her advise him so? Mr. Gupta, who was Hafiz contractor's teacher in the second and third grade, advised him to become an architect when he grew up. Second question, so what made her advise him so? Answer is she always said to him that he was quite useless in everything except for his sketches, which were always very good. Therefore, she advised him to take up architecture. 11th question. How did he help fellow students who had lost a button? When his fellow students lost a button, he helped them by cutting a button from chalk by using a blade. Which rules did he break as a schoolboy? As a schoolboy, he was more interested in things other than academics. If it started raining outside, he would think of the following flowing water and how to build a dam to block it. He thought about the flow of the water within the dam and how much of water the dam would be able to hold. He was interested only in games running around and playing jokes and pranks on others. He copied in class during exams. He used to get hold of the examination paper that had been prepared and study it and he could not remember things that had been taught to him in class. Third question, the 13th questions. First one. What is Hafiz contractor's def- definition of mathematics? Second, how would you want to define mathematics? Do you like the subject? He said that putting design, construction, psychology and sociology together and making a sketch from all that is mathematics.